viewers of Crossviews on CMTV. We want to thank you for being part of another edition this day. And on today's program, we have Mr. Item Armstrong, who has decided to make it again today. You're highly welcome to Crossviews.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. It is a privilege to be on this platform again once more. I will start by saying that there have been a lot of happenings within this week, especially in what happened when the director of the Human Rights Watch, Louis Munje, where he called on the UN to freeze the account of the separatist leader, equating them with most of the ills that have been happening, especially in the phase of this year. It is the first time in life, or not even in life, let me put it in life, in the Anglophone crisis, the life of Anglophone crisis, where the Human Rights Watch is hitting hard on the separatists. It appears the government has appeared on the spiritual phase of their writing this time around. So it is really an event that is cutting a lot of attention, because this issue has been an issue that many feel that it is the United Nations especially has stayed silent, meaning that they have given deaf ears, and the international community as a whole has not really given a lot of attention to the crisis. Instead of punching forward to solve the crisis, the Human Rights Watch, that has been a watchdog and has been giving credible reports, has this time around blacklisted the separatists from in their write-up. And also the event that happened when a young journalist died in Inobu and Logo division, in short, suspiciously in a DO's house. So it is really issues that are catching attention. Another one is what happened in Kumba, where 11.6 million has been returned once it was that has been returned because it was alleged that it was taken by separatists. But we are happy because
the divisional delegate
of
Basic Education.
So we are really thanking the authorities concerned, especially the divisional delegate who was by Chamberlain, who was down on his knees that no matter what happens, that money must come back, and he has come back. I feel that if all authorities are on their heels like this to see that no franc from the public coffers is missing, I think it will be a good thing.
But the question is, why were they so hot and very strong on that when we have so many embezzlers in the country, but nothing has been taken from them?
We have to start from somewhere. In life, what matters is that you have to start from somewhere. There have been a lot of issues happening within the territory. They might not be within the jurisdiction of the delegate. So within his jurisdiction, he has shown.
Many say that she's not connected.
No. He has proven that no funds within his community will go without an account, and that is. It's not that he's not connected. He's not having the spirit. He's not having the blood in his system. And let me tell you, when you blame the regime as a whole, at times I become very angry. I like holding people accountable, because once you hold people accountable, every individual will make sure that any tax is given, he will execute it to the latter. So he has done just the best by holding his by doing his job very well. We should not feel that huge sums of money within the territory have disappeared and they were not taken.
Okay, this time I want to welcome Dr. Busi to another program, the Crossview on CMTV. You are highly welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator, Mr. Mwambo Williams, again for Crossview. I think you have been doing a great job, Mr. Moderator. Thank you also. I want to welcome my co-panelists, Mr. Armstrong and Mr. Njomo Siri of the CRM party, and the crew behind the camera and the management of the house, CMTV. Mr. Mwambo Williams, let the paper keep ruling. And I want to say that a lot of issues have been happening in our country. And recently, Mr. Moderator, Nijon Fundi, the chairman of the Social Democratic Front, was in the United States. And he made mention out there that he has never been on a begging a begging position with President Paul Biya. That many Cameroonians are saying in the diaspora that he has always begged President Paul Biya discourse, and he has always been given money by President Paul Biya, but he said that no, he has never been begging any money from President Paul Biya, that he has been standing for the rights and justice of this country and the democracy of this country. And I want to say that when we look at Mr. Nijon Fundi, when he came to power in the 90s, he was so hot, and he was the father of democracy in this country. And we have seen that he also discussed the issue of the Anglophone crisis that the separatist leaders have brought. They have to come together in order to be in one mouth, because the common man in the Northwest and Southwest is suffering on a daily basis, and life is difficult on them. And he thinks that the separatist leaders are not in a good footing, and that they should sit together as a people and decide on the way forward in Cameroon and see how the Anglophone crisis can be solved. Also we can see the workers of Cameco, they were striking, they were protesting because their salaries have not been paid over time. So we can now see that the Anglophone crisis also is ravaging the economy of Cameroon. The economy of Cameroon is really down because you can see workers of Cameco really protesting and calling for President Paul Biya to return them back to their jobs, because many of them have lost their jobs. To tell you that it's high time we bring in justice and peace to solve the Anglophone crisis, because many young people are really suffering in this country. And Cameco also, even Amugu Belinga wants to buy 51% of the shares of Cameco, to tell us that Cameroon is moving in a diminishing return. And the 2020 GCE practicals have started. And many students, especially in Yaoundé, are complaining that due to the COVID-19, Mr. Moderator, they are finding it difficult, and they don't know how the end result of the GCE will look like, because some of them are saying that they are not well prepared psychologically and emotionally ready to write the GCE, the written part through, and the practical part is already ongoing. And we see the COVID-19 so dreadful, and students need to write the GCE with a lot of confidence too, and we can say that they need to respect the COVID-19 measures, and we could see one student sitting per bench in the practical session in Yaoundé, but not all centers. Looking at the Anglophone crisis, we in the Northwest and Southwest, where students have migrated from rural areas to urban centers, we don't have spaces. Where are our own students going to write to? We need more accommodations, and we need more invigilators and more security. And lastly, also, the governor of the Northwest region has promised hard times to the denizens of the Northwest who are not respecting the COVID-19 measures. And he appreciated that President Paul Biya sent about 500 million so that other centers could be created, especially in markets, because we have seen that our markets are overcrowded and people are buying. We see buyers and sellers in our market on daily basis, and it's becoming a problem of them not respecting the physical and the social distance, which is a problem in our society today. And I think that we must be self-responsible too. And lastly, Mr. Moderator, we could see the issue of human rights watch, which is very important. We have been clamoring for peace and justice. And I think that Human Rights Watch is calling for the UN Security Council to intervene in the Northwest and Southwest, so that the separatist leaders and the military who have been so hard on the common people, they are calling on them to be more prudent, because the common man is really suffering. I think that the UN Security Council have to involve in the Anglophone crisis so that peace could reign.
Thank you. At this time, I want to welcome Mr. Njomosiri. You're highly welcome to this program today.
Thanks for having me, Mr. Mwambo Williams. I would like to start with the international politics, the issue happening with the United States of America, going to have a delay in the election that is supposed to come up next month. And activities towards the campaign are supposed to be launched, and so U.S. citizens, especially the Democrats, think that he wants to use a tactic to delay elections so that he can prepare better since COVID-19 and the George Floyd saga actually painted a black color to the Republican. Away from that, we have the same scenario in Tokyo this time around, where the person in charge of the town decided to also delay election. This time, delay election, and people in Tokyo simply think that she is not wanted, and so whether she uses the jargon that she did not really want to do, people think that is a political maneuver. When coming back home, the saga over the chieftaincy keep booming around. We had this time around the Northwest region, Ngokuchinja division, where the senior divisional officer decided to dethrone a third-class traditional ruler, even though the SDO comes from the Northwest. And so the question of the administrative authorities over our traditional ruler is becoming wanting, and the government needs to zoom into that and let justice speak. One will permit me to learn with the COVID-19, which is still very much present in so many communities as we talk. The world keep recording deaths because of this world-dreaded pandemic, and it's not yet to stop.
Thank you so very much, gentlemen, for reacting to what makes news these days. And I would like us to begin without waste of time. Dear viewers, I want to say, if you want to be part of